I'm going to make you watch this because I had to, and now it's time for you to suffer through it as well. Get ready. Cringe incoming, I should warn. The fiancé of Donald Trump Jr., Kimberly Guilfoyle, she appeared at this Florida Republican event, something called the Victory Dinner, and we'll look at Ron DeSantis was also at this, being strange as he does. But here, it's really hard to describe, so you're just going to have to watch how badly this went for Kimberly Guilfoyle. And it caused a lot of online discussion that wasn't super flattering about her delivery here. We have seen some bonkers Kimberly Guilfoyle speeches before. The best is yet to come. Here, though, the crowd is not having it. And sometimes they try to support what she's saying, but many times they're silent as she's delivering moments that are supposed to be rousing the crowd. And at one moment, she has to request the crowd claps for her. Ooh. Ron Filipkowski posted this montage saying, montage of clips from Kimberly Guilfoyle's embarrassing and humiliating speech tonight, where she eventually had to beg Florida Republicans to clap for her. Oh, Kimberly.
Taste of victory. Let's taste it again on November 5th. Who's with me? All right. Good evening.
Don't clap for yourself. Who's with me? I'm with me. Woo-wee!
Need to say his name. Donald Trump. More than ever. We're out of the White House. Are you with me? To get this country back on track. Has witnessed in the world his resilience.
You know the phrase, it's so quiet you can hear a pin drop? This is, it's so quiet you can hear forks on plates.
And we lift the American worker. We will go to bed at night that feels unrecognizable. I'm here to tell you, don't lose hope. Americans from all walks of life have had enough of the Democrats' decline, and we are ready. We are willing, and we are able to spark a new era of American exceptionalism. You can clap for that.
Oh. No. No. It, of course, reminded me of this famous moment from Jeb Bush.
I think the next president needs to be a lot quieter, but send a signal that we're prepared to act in the national security interests of this country to get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
Back to Kimberly. And by the way, if you're thinking this is petty, stop thinking that. No, I think we have to, as I've said so many times, both focus on substance and be able to live in this existence we're in right now in American politics. And one of the ways that we can survive through it and not go crazy with some of these MAGA folks pushing really dishonest ideas, people like Kimberly Guilfoyle trying to get her boyfriend's or her fiance's dad elected, and the vitriolic stuff that comes from them in the interest of that. If we're dealing with that on a daily basis, while our goal is to uplift everyone, true, we also got to giggle sometimes. And what's easier to giggle at than you can clap now?
Leaving our country and the world worse off. November 5th is coming, and Donald John Trump is coming with it. Deserve better. Do it for them. And Act 3 is the art of the comeback. Run towards the brighter days ahead. Victory is in our sights. America's future is in our hands. America's destiny is in our control. And America's prosperity is in our hearts and souls. So my challenge to all of you stay in the fight. On to victory on November 5th, and God bless the United States of America. She's worth fighting for. Thank you so much.
Again, I'm not... it's so hard, you know. Like, we talk in the office about principles we want to abide by in our coverage, and one of them is you know, treating people with respect, even as we call out the dangerous MAGA ideology. So I'll just leave that part of the segment there. Kimberly Guilfoyle at the Florida event. Before getting to Ron DeSantis saying something absurd, this is a joke. I'm making a joke, okay? This is satire. This is not me actually making any judgments about the relationship between Donald Trump Jr. and Kimberly Guilfoyle. Caveat has been made. But what we just watched on stage gives me a little bit more context for this.
Kimberly for press secretary? Perfect. You know what? That'd be great. She can do like 6 days a week in Washington, D.C. I get peace and quiet. Everyone wins. Don't tell her I said that. That would be trouble. Cash for AG, Kim for press secretary. Yeah, listen, I think Kim for press secretary is a great idea. Okay, I think, you know, she moves up to D.C. I get like 4 years of peace and quiet. Like I said, everyone wins. Everyone wins. But Kimberly is not too wishy-washy. Yeah, that's that. If there's one thing Kimberly is not, it's that. So Don Jr. sleeping on the couch tonight. Fact check, true. But hey, listen. Sometimes you sleep on the couch and it's just worth it because it's just worth it. You know, so yeah, if Kim is watching, I'm probably in trouble. If you guys know her, you're probably texting her right now. Hopefully she's not watching. Kim has a great voice. Yeah, Kim's an animal. Like she'd be good at that.
Every time I hear this compilation, it's not over. But that's the part that gets me. Yeah, she could be 6 days in Washington. It'd be great. Never have to see her again. Be great. Be great. That's what I said. Be great. Let me circle back to that. It'd be great. I'm going to keep, you know, trash talking my fiance on a podcast like a child. And then he realizes he's going a little overboard and he thinks, all right, you know what? Let me read one of the comments that's positive about her and compliment her. And the compliment he chooses is she's an animal.
Kim has a great voice. Yeah, Kim's an animal. Like she'd be good at that. You know, she's, like I said, I think she'd do a great job at the job. I get peace and quiet. Everyone wins. You think she's tough? You think I don't have to put up with that shit? Like, you know, I do. That doesn't just turn off, you know, when, you know, you're not on a show or you're not on TV. Kim is a gem. Look at you guys kissing ass. Now you're trying to make me look bad. We can make Kim AG. She's a lawyer. She's an undefeated prosecutor. Again, and I still win because she's in D.C. for 4 years. Come on. Weekends will be great. It's fine.
And that was came from an old segment, which is why you see me being cut in there. But maybe whatever we were just observing in her speech is a part of why Donald Trump Jr. wants her to be in Washington. No, the important thing is, I think with someone like Kimberly Guilfoyle, here it is. Okay, you've been waiting for the substance. Here it is. I like to believe that the reason people like J.D. Vance, Ron DeSantis, Kimberly Guilfoyle lack charisma in such a excruciating way is not because there's something wrong with them, but because they're playing a role. They're acting in this MAGA thing they're doing. And whenever you're espousing things that in your heart you really don't believe, like J.D. Vance thinking Trump might be America's Hitler and then now loving him, or Kimberly Guilfoyle previously not having the politics that she does and now having it and having to pretend like she believes this stuff, I think every day you do that, it's sort of like a cosmic balance where you have to give up something else. This would be an interesting... Shane, jot this down for a little screenplay. And every day that you're faking it, it's the universe saying, all right, you want to be this, but you're going to suck at being this because I'm going to take away all your charisma. But you can be fake. You can be MAGA when you really don't believe these things, but a little part of your soul and thus charisma is going to deteriorate. And speaking of Ron DeSantis, Amendment 4 in Florida is something that's a direct ballot initiative in November for Florida voters to vote on to enshrine reproductive rights into the Florida Constitution. And this is something that has a pretty good shot of passing because of the popularity of reproductive freedom. And Ron DeSantis, in the face of his position being unpopular, he signed into law a 6-week abortion ban in Florida. Instead of thinking, maybe I'm out of touch with my citizens. Maybe the fact that I'm so concerned this direct ballot initiative, meaning people voting on it directly, not through their legislature, but directly doing it themselves at the ballot box, I'm so scared it's going to get passed. Maybe that means I shouldn't be so extreme. But no. When in doubt, blame who? George Soros.
Now, this is an amendment that's underwritten by people like George Soros and other organs of the political left.
Organs? That's kind of a weird way to describe that. Other organs and,
Now, this is an amendment that's underwritten by people like George Soros and other organs of the political left. It is an intentionally deceptive and misleading amendment. It should have never been approved to be on this ballot by the Florida Supreme Court. They made a horrendous decision on both of these amendments, but certainly on Amendment 4. And so if you read it, it's almost like, it's hard to even know what's going on. Now,
maybe that's a you problem, Ron. I think the voters know exactly what's going on, and they're going to vote for it, hopefully. Also, Ronnie, is George Soros in the room with you right now? It's weird how much of an ultimate villain he is. Often, you don't even understand what the connection is. But they always pick him for some reason. It's always George Soros. Now, because we've been looking at some speeches that are rough to observe, let's try to balance a little bit. And in this segment, on a high note, someone who hasn't had to sacrifice charisma for political advantage is Tim Walz, because he actually believes the things that he says, and thus you get this.
Think about it in this room. This is what these folks are focusing on, spending all their time. Like reading about two male penguins who love each other is somehow going to turn your children gay, and that's what you should worry about. But here's what I'll tell you.
That comedic timing too, right? Just pausing. A good speaker knows how to control the silence.
But here's what I'll tell you. It's a fact of life. Some people are...
Dang it. I meant to say leverage the silence. That would have been better.
It's a fact of life. Some people are gay. But you know what's not a fact of life? That our children need to be shot dead in schools. That's not a fact of life.
Wow. Yeah. Indeed. And by the way, I think that's a really good way to contrast this. As it pertains to schools and our children, we want more investments in education. We want kids to prosper. We want them to not be shot in schools, feel safe in schools. Those are our priorities. MAGA is really fixated on gay penguins. It's your choice, all right? Different sets, different strokes for different folks. But there's definitely a correct one, okay? And I would encourage you to be on that side of this debate. Then you have him saying this.
Did you hear? He's got a plan on childcare costs that no one in the world understood a damn word about it. Not one thing. Did you hear?
Yeah. If you haven't seen my segments, many that we've done now about Trump's childcare answer, where he comes up with a new way to speak English, which I honestly, you know how people say there's only so many things you can do with the limited number of words in the English language, that I think if you just said enough words, you'd at least have one in like a 2-minute rant that would be a coherent sentence just by accident. It's almost impressive that he was able to take all of these hundreds of words and situate them such that not a single sentence made any sense. Almost impressive, if it wasn't so dumb. Let me know what you thought of that in the comments, and support the show. Get the members only bonus show by clicking the join button below.